Hey everybody. Okay, and for my birthday, I've just been thinking too. I'm not mad at the world or anything. I mean, I'm a little upset with my life situations. But you know what? If people don't like me for how I am or who I am, the way I am, then they can go kick rocks. I really don't care, because you know what? Jesus doesn't make junk, and he says I'm beautifully and wonderfully made, or beautifully and fearfully made. I'm one of a kind, thank God. The world doesn't need another one of me. But you know what? I am just so sick and tired of being insecure in my life, especially around other guys. I have never been, nor will I ever be, hold on, what would be called an alpha male. I just don't have the genetics for it. My dad was one, but I am not. I have a lot of spinal injuries and bone problems and health issues, and I'm not. I just never was able to. I've always been a sickly child, right? So, I never got to hit the gym and stuff. I still can't, because it really messes with my back and spinal cord and stuff. I'm very delicate. I wanted to be a cop like my dad years ago, but I couldn't get through training because of my health issues. I wanted to be a military chaplain and be in the Marines. Couldn't do that. My dad got to, but I couldn't because, again, my health. Birth defects, stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of things I want to do. I wanted to play sports, like most guys my age or when I was younger, but couldn't do that because, again, my disabilities. I also have, and I'm going to admit this, apparently a strong feminine side. Very strong feminine side. And what I mean by that is, I love to sing. I used to like to dance. I love acting. I used to love fashion. I love flowers. I love gardening and landscaping and outdoor stuff. Swimming. I like the beach. I like tanning. Okay? I like chihuahuas. I've always had chihuahuas since I was a little kid. I had my first chihuahuas, really my grandmother's. It was my best friend. Baby was her name. I didn't name her. And she was my best friend for 18 years. Until I was 18, I had to put her down. She was 18 years old when we put her down. I've always liked little dogs more than big dogs. I like big dogs too, but I really love little dogs. Okay, they're easier to deal with. I like them, lap dogs. But I really like short-haired chihuahuas, or those Mexican cholo dogs, stuff like that. Okay? I'm not embarrassed by that. A lot of guys I used to hang out with, like, oh, you have a chihuahua, oh, you must be gay. Get over yourself. God made chihuahuas too, okay? Chihuahua is my personality type, okay? Every owner of a dog usually has a dog that fits their personality type. Mine is a chihuahua. Yep, that is it. And you know what? They have the Napoleon syndrome. They will kick your butt, and they don't care if they're as small as your hands. They will. I've seen chihuahuas go after, and mine used to do this. I had two of them. They would grab our Newfoundland and grab her by the throat and run. The dog would be running down the yard with two chihuahuas hanging off of her throat, okay? They were fearless. So, I love chihuahuas, okay? I like to bake. I'm good at it. I'm especially with desserts. I like to cook. I like to do a lot of stuff that I guess most normal, alpha, strong military men don't do or don't admit they like to do. Get over yourself, okay? I'm just saying this because I deserve to be able to be myself in life. And I'm tired of it when I go to a party and I bring a tray of awesome desserts, but the other guys are like, oh, I didn't bring anything, and I don't cook. Oh, well, what are you, gay? I mean, well, you're a baker? Like, isn't that what girls do? Like, why do you like to, I mean, it's good, but, and they're like embarrassed. It's like, guys, God gave me talents, and one of them is to be very artistic and creative. I can paint, I can draw, I used to be able to build things, I was a sculptor, I like to cook, I can bake. I have a lot of creative talents, and it's all this energy and creativity in me that I never let out, because I guess a lot of times I'm afraid that guys are going to just think I'm a homo or something just because I like these things, you know? I like pink. I wear pink polo shirts. I don't care. What I'm saying is, grow up, be a man. Being a man doesn't mean that you have to be such a macho, male chauvinist idiot blockhead, because women don't like that either. I think a woman would rather have a guy with a sense of style who wants to appreciate and help them in the kitchen and do things, who can actually pull the weight when they can't, you know? They don't want a guy who just sits on the couch all day drinking beers, being waited on, making the house all muddy with their boots and watching football every Sunday. They want a man who's going to take them to church. You know, they want a man who might be able to cook them a nice meal once in a while. You know, they want a man who's well-rounded and, you know, not necessarily a mama's boy, but, you know, a man who can be a house man if he has to. I can decorate, okay? My mobile home last time was the most beautiful looking thing you ever saw on the inside. I have a knack for getting things cheap and elegant. It looked like a queen's palace in there. And it wasn't over the top. It was just beautiful. Okay? I got a lot of compliments. That's how I am. And I'm not going to be ashamed of it. Why should I have to hang up camouflage curtains in my next house just so that my guy friends think, ooh, okay, you know, he's more of a manly man. I guess I'm not a man's man. I'm sorry. I tried to be. I want to be. I can't be anything I'm not. But I do try to be a man of God, okay? The kind of guy who is just like a military type guy, because, you know, it is like military with God, with the road to the cross. And I might not be able to fight and stuff, but it's not because I can't or I'm afraid. I am not afraid. I just am weak because of spinal damage and stuff. I can't throw down with people. My days of getting in bar fights, and I used to when I'm in my youth, are over. I used to get jealous at nightclubs if somebody was talking to somebody I was with, and people would get literally thrown over a bar. I'm not proud of it. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that, you know, people peg me wrong all the time. And I do have a sensitive side, and the older I get, the more I allow myself to cry when I get emotional. Yeah, real men can cry. It's okay to cry at a funeral. It's okay to cry when you're really hurting inside or when something's sad or bothering you. It's even okay to cry tears of joy, okay? Jesus cried when Lazarus died, okay? Doesn't mean that you're gay or a wimp or whatever. I think that a lot of guys have a lot of problems and psychological issues and even performance issues in the bedroom, if I have to be so bold, because they hold a lot of stuff in. Like, they don't want to show their sensitive nature or side. They think that it's going to make them look gay, or that their woman's not going to love or respect them anymore, or that their guy friends are going to make fun of them, or whatever. So what? Look, guys, life is way too short. Just obey God. Be the best man or woman that God created you to be. You know the rules. You know what God expects, okay? There's order and there's disorder, and you don't want disorder. So if you're gay or bisexual, you know what God says about that. He loves you, but he still wants you to follow the same rules as everybody else. So I'm sorry, but you just can't do certain things. Just deal with it, okay? You can still find happiness in a rewarding relationship with someone of the opposite sex as it's supposed to be. Because here's the thing. Even if you're totally enamored with the person and you're just so attracted to them and it's all lust, you're not really loving the person, it's just lust. But if you can find a good time with the person, a friendship, they're like a sister in Christ to you or a brother in Christ to you, they're like family, they're your best friends, and you have fun together, and you have a good relationship in all ways, because it is necessary if you're going to marry the person, then you're lucky. But if you're just going just for looks and beauty, or just for lust, that's going to go away eventually and fade. And you're not the kind of person who's marriage material or even worth dating. You're a jerk. But you're just all about yourself. It's all about instant gratification. So look for all these things. Yes, be attractive. Don't settle. By all means, don't settle. But you'll know when you find the right one. Okay? But I just think that what's causing all this gender issue and stuff in life is that people just are so screwed up now. They don't know what they're supposed to be or who they can be, and they're all confused. And I think some people are like gay or bi or whatever because they might not even be. It's just that they're told by, the wrong people that, oh, well, you must be this way because you like flowers and you like the color pink or purple and guys don't like that stuff and you're a wussy or, stupid stuff, ignorant stuff. God created a lot of beautiful things down here, and he did create roles for men and women, right? But there is an order, natural order. But he never said that men couldn't like flowers or like baking and cooking. But there is a role in God's way of things where a wife usually does those things, But sometimes wives can't cook or they're not good at cleaning house. And I don't see anything wrong with a man who can step in and do that and be proud of it. Some men are better at decorating or cleaning or cooking than their wife. Doesn't mean they're any less of a man. Doesn't mean that they're gay or there's something wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? We need to find, when you're with somebody, it's not always going to be 50-50. You have to be evenly yoked, but you're supposed to complement each other. If the woman's a little more masculine than you in some ways, and whatever, so what, as long as it works, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that we're putting too much, and then what happens is it becomes too much on people, and then boom, there's a meltdown or an explosion like a pressure cooker, and now you just have liberalism everywhere, and that's not the answer either. You gotta find a happy medium here. We gotta return back to God and his ways and society, which we're never going to because we're in the end times, but if we would, society would be a better place. But we have totally done away with God and his ways. And in an effort to free ourselves and to be me, and it's all about me and my happiness and all that and freedom, and we've just totally thrown away morals and ethics and order and, just God and the commandments. And that's not the answer either. Because if you really understood Christ and what he was doing, you would understand that he came to set us free. What you did, or what we did in society, was actually enslave ourselves. We didn't free ourselves by rebelling against God. We went right into shackles. Really think about this. If you really know the Bible and you really understand Jesus and what he did and why he said he came to set us free, and there's always going to be rules. You're going to be a slave to somebody, either God or Satan, either the world, the flesh, and the devil, or to God. But there will be rules and regimens and commandments one way or another, and laws, whether good or bad. God came to give us the truth and the good laws to follow that will give you happiness, health, and eternal life. The devil gives you his version of laws, and he will tax you to death and inflate prices, and, he will keep you working 2 jobs until the day you're dead and you could never retire. And all this stuff that the world offers is opposite of God. If you do things God's way, simply, naturally, the right way for the right reasons, in his order of things, you might not have all the stuff the world offers, but you know what? You're going to realize you're happier without it, and you don't need it. All that glistens is not always gold. I know people who have millions of dollars in mansions and yachts, and they're still not happy, and they're not even going to heaven because they don't have God. And it's like, so what's the point of it all? But I know poor people who are so happy with the least things in life, and they can really appreciate God and life and family and friends because they're not so overwhelmed and working so hard for things that they don't really need because they're not doing it the world's way, they're doing it God's way. Guys, there's 2 roads that we have before us. The road of the world, which leads to hell, or the road to Jesus, the road of the cross that leads to heaven. Choose the narrow, simpler road. Because your brains are going to explode. All this stress, depression, and anxiety comes from trying to keep up with the world and the way of the world's ways of things. Got to have this, got to have that, got to do this. Oh, got to have technology now so that you now do the job of 5 people instead of just 1. Because we're going to get our money's worth if we're going to pay you as an employee. And you're burning out. Come back to Christ and say, enough of this. I'd rather have less and have peace of mind and heart and enjoy my life than have to do it the world's way and have nothing but hate and regret and resentment and then die early. Choose. Choose life, Jesus said. He said, I set before you 2 roads, life and death. Choose life. He means choose my way. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. It may seem more difficult, but it's really not. It's simple. And it may seem like there's a lot of rules and obligations, but it's really not, because compared to all the rules in the world, the things that are expected of you, if you go that route, And also think about your eternity. That road leads to eternal death and destruction. This one leads to happiness forever. And I promise you, I will give you everything you never had in this world. You'll have better over here for eternity on my side. Just choose now. You know, people need to break it down. You need to understand what God's trying to tell you. If you really knew Jesus, you would love him. And he would love you. And you would get it. And you'd feel like so much more relaxed and at peace once you're on the road of God. Get off this broad road. Take the next exit soon as you can and get off the highway to hell. I don't care if everybody you know is on it. Get off now. I'm telling you. Take this road and you're going to see that you're just going to have more time. Look, God allowed the pandemic for this reason. I got to get in there because people are waiting for my birthday. And it's after 10. Just got out of work. God allowed that pandemic as a wake-up call to show people, I have to stop everything to get you to focus on what's most important. Your family, your friends, your homes that you never get to enjoy because you're always working so hard. You never even get to spend time in the home you pay for. And I want you to come back to me. And I want you to realize what it's like to have everything that the world gives you taken away. And a lot of people, they quit their jobs and never went back after this COVID pandemic. It was liberating for them. They realized what was most important. Their wives, their husbands, their kids, God. You know, they realized, wow, we don't have a lot right now because we're all locked down. But you know what? It's amazing how much you could do without. Wow. They learned gratitude all over again. Even the air and the ocean cleared up when man was stopping driving and flying planes every day. Nature bounced back. I mean, guys, we need this reset. We needed that reset to get our priorities in order. Let's keep it going. Return to God now and stay that way and do with less. You don't need to have a huge, job that's making you work 80 hours a week if you can get by on 30, 40 hours a week. Minimize, cut back, downsize so that you have more time. Because listen, the one thing we don't have a lot of is time. And it is precious. It's worth more than anything else. And we don't know how much, if we are going to have tomorrow or not. We don't have much time on this earth. Do you really want to spend it frivolously on things that are going to lead you to hell, or that they're never going to make you happy, or that you're going to have to work so hard for stuff that's just material and, you can never enjoy it? By the time you retire, you're old and decrepit. I mean, think. This is what Jesus meant. He said, I came to set you captives free. Think about that. This world is a trap. You are a slave to the system. Get off the grid, get off the system, and come back to Christ. Let him make you free in every way. God bless you.